Hey, I'm Hugh Pinfold and I'm the Director of Design and Engineering for North Kiteboarding.
Hi, and I'm Uli Sommerlatt, Product Manager at North.
Today we're talking about the 2024 North Kiteboarding Twintips. So we've got 4 different groups of Twintip boards. We've got the Freeride Big Air, we've got Freestyle, Wakestyle and Light Wind. The 2024 North Twintip boards are packed with features. So we've got Flip Tech, which means the inserts are down the center line of the board. So once your hillside rail's worn out, you can flip your bindings around to the other side and you get double the life out of your board. So we have composite fins, which are slightly over-rocketed. So as you screw them onto the board, both tips are firm against the board so you can't catch any lines. So we also have composite fin washers. Now these enable the screws to sit flush so you can't catch any lines on them, and they also distribute the load of the screws across the top of the board. So we have a new handle design for 2024. It's still got the overmold, which gives you ultimate grip. It's a trapezoid shape and it's 10 millimeters higher than it was last year. So with everyone getting into the big air, it's much easier to grab your board off tricks. We have a great little accessory kit this year also. So we have the Twintip handle riser kit. Now this raises the handle another 14 millimeters, so 24 millimeters higher than our handle from 2023. By having your handle this much higher, it just makes your board off tricks a whole lot easier to catch again. So all of our Twintip boards feature durable ABS rails, and these are sanded with an undercut to make a very smooth ride. Now, ABS is what you use for car bumpers, so this is a very durable material that we put on the perimeter of all of our Twintip boards. If you're after a Freeride or big air board, we have the Prime, the Astra, the Atmos and the Atmos Pro, which is our carbon version of the Atmos. There is a progression in features and performance from the Prime through to the Atmos Pro.
So what makes the Prime a great freeride board?
So the Prime has easy upwind, has a refined flex, it's great for carving, it's comfortable for loading up, and it's super forgiving on the landings. The Prime helps you progress faster in your freeride game. It's a sweet performer in all wind and water conditions. It's a board that really handles the chop as well as flat water conditions. So the Prime is our all-round freeride board. It's a really intuitive board that just works for any rider ability. It's instantly familiar, intuitive and comfortable in all conditions.
So what are some of the design features on the Prime?
So the Prime has an early planing progressive single concave. It has an easy edge-to-edge rounded outline for controlled upwind tracking. And it has pulled-in tips for a splash-free ride. So what's the construction of the Prime board?
On the Prime we have a Paulownia wood core that is tapered in thickness from rail to rail sidewards as well as tip to tip, and that way we balance the flex in nicely. We have an E-glass laminate layup that we have nicely balanced to get that very intuitive flex in the board. For 2024 the Prime comes in the sizes from 133 all the way to 152. As all our Twintips, the Prime comes with a fin kit, and the 2 larger sizes feature the 50mm fins, all other sizes feature the 40mm fins. Hugh, so what do you love about the Prime?
I think the Prime is just an all-round easy to use board. It's single concave throughout, just gives it a really forgiving flex, makes it easy to carve and super soft landings.
Here we have our 2024 Atmos Pro, the carbon version of the Atmos. Hugh, who is this board for?
This board's for the rider that goes out in absolutely extreme conditions, high performance, free ride and big air riders.
What are some of the design features on the Atmos Pro?
So it has torsional stiffness and flex for a dynamic and responsive ride. It has precise edge control for powerful upwind tracking and for big air boosts. It has a medium rocker which allows early planing and riding in overpowered conditions with ease.
The Atmos Pro is our top-of-the-line full carbon board. It features 100% carbon laminate in each individual layer. We have a mixture of unidirectional fibers balanced with biaxial fibers that help us to dial in the flex of this board and makes it so high performance. The Atmos Pro comes in the sizes 136 to 144. It comes with a TwinTip accessory kit with 40mm fins in all sizes. What do you love about the Atmos Pro?
Well, the Atmos Pro being full carbon has a really quick response. However, it's not too stiff. It's got a really good balance between stiffness and forgivingness on those really powered landings. I think in overpowered conditions, this is when this board really shines.
Here we have the 2024 Atmos. Hugh, tell us, who's this board for?
Well, the Atmos is our most popular freeride performance board for explosive boosting, looping and stable, predictable landings. Well, the Atmos has precise edge control for powerful upwind tracking and big air sends. It has a medium rocker that allows for early planing and great light wind performance. Has a single concave in the center and quad tip channels which absorb impact upon landing. And what's the construction of the Atmos this year?
The Atmos comes in a hybrid carbon construction, which means we have an E-glass laminate on a Paulownia wood core, which is reinforced with carbon UD tapes. Those carbon UD tapes help us to make this dynamic flex of the board. It's particularly important in choppy conditions, as well as loading up the rail for jumps or on landings. It comes in the sizes 136 to 144 and includes our TwinTip accessory kit with 40mm fins. What do you love about the Atmos?
Well, the Atmos with its hybrid construction really gives you the best of both worlds. I love how you get the quick response from the carbon UD tapes, but having the E-glass construction, it's a lot more forgiving on landings. So I feel like I can just last a lot longer out there on this board.
Here we have our 2024 Astra. Hugh, who is this board for?
Well, the Astra is a freeride big air board that's been optimized for the lighter weight rider.
What are some of the design features for the Astra?
So the Astra has been designed with a dialed in flex for comfort in choppy conditions. It has easy upwind tracking, big boosting and soft landings. It has a progressive rocker for all-round performance. It has a narrower stance with the inserts moved in 20mm compared to the rest of our range. This once again is optimized for the lighter rider. So what's the construction of the Astra this year?
The Astra comes in a hybrid basalt construction. Basalt is a natural fiber made from volcanic rocks and has a unique feeling to it. It really helps us for the lightweight riders. Carbon can be a little bit too stiff here because of the weight of the rider, and the perfect alternative is really the basalt fiber here. We get a nice flex of the board and a dynamic springback feeling. The Astra comes in the sizes 129 to 138 and comes with the TwinTip accessory kit with 40mm fins. Hugh, what do riders love about the Astra and what makes this board so unique?
Well, this board is one of the first boards that's been truly designed from the ground up for a lighter weight rider. Now I've got my wife who kites also, and my kids that are just getting into it, loving this board. Previously they've used a hand-me-down board of mine and they were just too stiff. Now this board just has the performance that they've been looking for. In our 2024 Freestyle collection, we have the Focus and the Flare. A Freestyle board generally has a wider tip, so that will give you a lot better pop. Generally you'll be riding them in kind of more flat water conditions, so you can have a squarer outline. And you want it to still be fairly forgiving on your hard landings.
Here we have the 2024 Focus.
So the Focus has a progressive rocker and it has a squarer, flatter outline. It has a geometrically stiffer backbone, which gives you more controlled takeoffs, and the quad channels give you traction to stomp your landings.
The Focus comes in a hybrid carbon construction. We have a balanced e-glass laminate at the top and the bottom of the board, and have carbon UV tapes that run from tip to tip directly underneath the fins on both sides. The carbon really helps us to dial in the flex of the board and enables you to load up the rail and get those explosive pops and maneuvers for freestyle. The Focus comes in the sizes 133 to 142. It includes the TwinTip accessory kit, which comes with 40mm fins. Hugh, what do you love about the Focus?
Well, the Focus is my personal favorite board. I just love the squarer outline, makes it really efficient at rocketing upwind. With the wider tips, I feel like I can drive a lot of power through it and get a really good pop. So with the hybrid construction, I feel like the tips are really forgiving for hard landings.
Hugh, what makes a good Wakestyle board?
So a Wakestyle board definitely needs to generate a whole lot of pop. You'll normally be riding on a slightly larger board, so a softer, more forgiving board's good, but you also need a super durable base to it for hitting those obstacles.
So who's this board for, Hugh?
So the Flare is designed for riders that want to switch between kite Wakestyle and park riding. So the Flare has a durable, low friction PTX base. So a PTX base is the same as what they use on snowboards. So if you get a ding or a gouge out of it, you're able to repair it. It has a high Wakestyle rocker with wide square tips for maximum pop. It has a controlled tip flex for presses and for softer landings. And it has a quad concave center to deep quad channel tips, which enable you to ride the board without fins. So what's the construction of the Flare?
For the Flare, we have a classic composite construction. We have an e-glass laminate at the top and an e-glass laminate at the bottom, a Polonia wood core in the middle. The e-glass laminate really helps us to dial in that flex nicely for this board. As Hugh mentioned, a flex, and especially tip flex, is particularly important for, let's say, stylish nose presses. The Flare comes in the sizes 139, 143 and 147. The board comes with the Flare accessory kit, which features the 20mm fins for all sizes. Hugh, what do riders love about the Flare?
Well, the cool thing about the Flare is it gives you options. You can go kite surfing one day when the wind's up, maybe the wind drops, then you can go to the cable park and keep on practicing your tricks. you're after a light wind specific twin tip board, then we have the Trace. With a light wind board, you definitely want to be up and planing early. So it's generally going to have more cross-sectional area. It's going to have a straighter outline, which will give you easy upwind ability. It's going to be, you want it to be playful. You don't want it to feel like a big board. So it's going to be a little more flexible than some of your higher wind boards. And the good thing about it is that you're going to be the first one out on the water.
Who is this board specifically designed for?
Well, it's designed for any rider really to get out. Maybe you live in a location where it only gets super light sea breezes through summer. So it's going to have early planing and it's going to have great upwind performance even in the lightest of winds. I know Mark Jacobs is using this board for light wind big air training. So he finds he can still load up his rail enough in the lighter winds to get a jump and practice his board off maneuvers. So it's a bit of a session saver for him. This board has phenomenal pop. For a big board, you can really pop even in light wind transitions. It has a balanced rocker outline and flex. It has a V-spine and quad channels running into the tips. It's ideally used with a 13, 15, 17 metre reach, depending on your weight. So what is the construction of the Trace?
The Trace comes in a carbon hybrid construction. We have an egress laminator top and bottom, we have a lightweight Paulownia wood core, and we have carbon tapes that are a little bit wider than on our normal boards. Given the length of the boards, we want to support the center of the board but allow tip flex towards the tips so you can really lean into the calf still, even in light wind conditions. The Trace comes in two sizes. It's the 145 and the 155. Both sizes come with the TwinTip accessory kit with 40mm fins. What do you love about the Trace?
So the cool thing about the Trace is that it's been optimized to still function like a standard freeride board. It may be larger, but it still flexes and it still has a really playful feeling.